Hello everyone, my name is Katelin Urgo and I am a 23-year-old writer and I have written a book. If you've been following along on my NaNoWriMo journey, then you should know that the book I'm talking about now is not that book. I wrote a book back in March through July while we were in the heat of quarantine, and I had just lost my job and I really devoted 100% of my time to writing and finishing my book that I had been working on for 5 years prior. So I finished that and I have been working on getting this thing edited and working on the book cover and all of that. So this is going to be my second update video for you guys. If you haven't seen that first video, then go ahead and watch that, and it talks all about my journey of just how I decided that I was going to move forward with publishing this thing. It should be linked up here. If you are not already, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click that little bell to get all the notifications for when I post new videos. And I am trying to get to 300 subscribers before the end of the year. Who's to say? All right. Let's get into the update. The last time that I posted an update video, that was back in, oh geez, was that like September? I think it was. It was probably September. And I will say that not a ton has happened. Back in September, I had just recently found my editor and my cover designer. I was working closely with the two of them to, number one, get my book, my manuscript actually edited and start going through that whole process and learning what I need to do as an author and what the editor takes care of and all of that stuff. And then I also jumped right into book cover design. I think I'll just go ahead and talk about that first because this was actually a huge learning experience for me. I was so excited when I first decided that I was going to be self-publishing. I was so ready for the challenge. I was so ready to be able to have hands-on control over everything that happens and every process that my book goes through. I was ready to have final say on the book cover, on what gets, I was so ready. I was so ready for that. I think I was maybe a little too excited, however, because I reached out to my book cover designer right away. Of course, I will say again that I've never done this before. I don't know how that process works. So I reached out to her and we started going through some concepts, but I had no idea what I wanted. I had maybe a few loose ideas here and there, and when I say that my book cover designer was an absolute saint throughout all of this, I am not kidding, because she really worked with me and she delivered on everything that I asked for. After, I want to say like 3 or 4 different concept ideas, I sat back and I was like, I told her, I was like, I don't know why none of these are just sitting right. It's like I'm not sure what's missing. I feel like I'm not portraying the story through this cover and I just don't know what to do. And she said, it might be time for you to take a step away from this, not think about it for a little bit, or, you know, speak with your editor, really hone in what it is you want to see on this cover when you hold your book. And I was like, you're so right. I was just so excited that I jumped into this book cover process and I really had no idea what I wanted. I had no idea where to begin. So I was just giving her these ideas that I thought would look pretty, but they didn't really tell the story that I wanted them to tell. What I did was exactly that. I took a step back. I didn't think about it for a while, and then finally I met with my editor Emily and we sat down and I asked her, I was like, when you think of like the one image that comes to mind that means something in this book, a symbol that maybe appears a few times, that holds a lot of significance, what would that be? And in my head I had an idea of what I was thinking, but I wanted to see if she would say the same thing, and she did. She mentioned this one symbol that is in the book over and over again, and it holds a lot of significance to my main character, and I was so relieved when she said that because I was like, of course this symbol has to be on the cover. Of course we have to go in this direction. I just was so unsure before, and so that's why we went through so many different concepts, because I just didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted. Now I know what I want. I have gone through, I have selected a bunch of covers that have the same vibe, the same energy of what I'm going for. And I've even done a really rough little sketch thing of what I kind of envision the cover to be, so that way I can give that to her. And I'm really excited about just jumping back into this cover process with an absolute clear head. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I know now that the concept that I've settled on is exactly what the book needed in every capacity. So I'm really excited to get back in that process, but it was a great lesson learned, because I feel like I now know moving forward, I need to have a clear idea of what it is I'm looking for in a cover, and that's part of the fun and excitement of being an indie author, is that I do get to make those decisions. I don't have to hand it off to a publishing company and have them pick a cover that I may not even love. I get to have all of that control, and I really like that aspect. I really do. So I'm glad that I got to learn that lesson. I'm so glad that my cover designer, who is also named Emily, I made this really easy on myself, was able to help me and guide me through this. She knows it's my first time going through this process. She was so sweet throughout all of it. So I'm really excited to jump back in that process with a clear head and a clear idea of what it is I'm looking for. So that is the cover update for you. As for where I'm at in the actual editing process of my book, I am going to pass it off to vlog Katelin. I thought it would just be easier to kind of sit down with you really casually and tell you exactly where I'm at in the process while I go through my actual book. So go ahead. I'll be here. Hello everyone. So I have just sat down at my desk and I am about to go through the second pass of edits back from my lovely editor Emily. So we finished up with the first pass, which was basically, she went through, did all of the initial edits. She would leave comments on things and she would get rid of a bunch of stuff, change a bunch of stuff, and I went through and either accepted the change, or I could comment back and say, I don't know about this, or yada yada, and we could just have a little conversation all through the changes being tracked on this Word document. So that's kind of how the first pass went. I initially loved everything that she did. It was great. There was only a few things that me and her talked about. When we had our meeting, she was like, I don't know about this character, or this could be a little bit more developed, and I completely agreed with everything she had to say. So right now, the second pass, now that all of the big initial copy edits and everything is taken care of, my job now is to go through the second pass and basically create another document that's going to be all of the inserts. So anytime I'm going to be adding in a scene or adding anything really, I'm going to be doing it on this other document, and then she's going to go through and piece it all together in the main manuscript. And this pass really is all about getting some of those bigger concepts taken care of. I'm completely writing out a character. It's not a very big character by any means, but I'm completely getting rid of them. They serve no purpose anymore, so I'm writing them out. And so I'm going to be doing all of that in this pass and then getting it back to her. And then there's only a few more passes after that, which is crazy. But I figured I would, you know, kind of explain where I'm at really quick, and it's kind of fun getting back in this little vlog style. But yeah, I'm going to go through and you guys can watch a little bit of what I'm doing. Alright, continuing this little chat about where I am at in the editing process of this book. A big thing that I have been stuck on for a long time was the epilogue, and it's getting down to the point where I need to get an epilogue to my editor. I have not given her anything, and so in this second pass, I'm doing all of the inserts, so I'm fixing any scenes that need to have characters written out or whatnot. And I'm also going to be including the epilogue so she can finally read that, and that can be a part of when she does the whole second read through of the book as a whole. That being said, I have struggled big time with how I want the epilogue to go, where I want to take the story next. And I guess I should say that for a long time, I didn't know if this book was going to be part of a series or a standalone. I always sort of envisioned this book as not just being the only one. I think the world that I've created has the potential to see many other stories. But as for the story of my characters in this book, I think, you know, my editor brought it up to me and she said, what are you thinking? Are you thinking a series? And I told her, honestly, I don't know. And she suggested that this book could potentially be a part of a duology. So 2 books, 2 and done. And I absolutely fell in love with that idea. I think she hit the nail on the head. I think 3 would be too much, 1's not enough, 2's just right, and I think there's a little bit left of this story to tell. And so, that being said, we've had to do a lot of work in making sure that the writing in this book doesn't feel like it's moving too quickly, because I was, you know, frantically trying to like get everything in this one book, thinking if this is it, I need to tell as much as I can now. And so we're slowing a few things down, and that's what this pass for me is really about, is making sure that things don't move too quickly. I take my time, and all of this comes down to basically, what am I going to write in my epilogue? Because I have not written it yet. It has been quite the journey. I have had no idea what I was going to do. I've had so many ideas. There's too many to even count. I've written this epilogue probably a solid 5 times, and I have scrapped all of those now that I know that this is going to be a 2-book series. So I need to do that. I need to write the epilogue, and I think I finally have a direction that I want to go. I finally have an idea. I finally know exactly where I want to take the story. So I'm really excited about that. It's just, that's a big thing that I'm going to have to do and get back to her. I'm really just pounding out a lot of these edits, and then I'm going to go through the whole thing probably a couple times and like reread her comments and the conversations that we've had back and forth in the comments, and really just make sure that I'm hitting everything on the head. So that's what's up. That's the saga of this whole epilogue situation. Hopefully I can get it down on paper. Hopefully it turns out exactly what I want and it creates a really great segue into the second book. Hopefully you guys will want a second book. I don't know, this is so crazy to think about doing a series as your first book, because if people don't like it, or if it doesn't go well, or, you know, I don't know, then you know, to write a whole other book and then put it out when no one is asking for that or wants that is definitely really scary. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But there it is, the saga of the epilogue that I still haven't written. All right, there you have it. There's the update. I am feeling very good about this process. I will say that I was having some doubts, as you heard. I think it's the only thing that's scary about being an indie author is that you don't have these big publishing companies who are looking down at you saying, we believe in this story, we want to make this story happen. And I have to be that person. I have to believe in my story enough to want to put it out there for people to read. And I have to kind of validate myself. I can't rely on anyone else to do that for me. And so I've had some doubts, and I've questioned, is this story really that good? Is my writing really that good? But at the end of the day, this is the coolest experience that I've had. It's the closest that I've ever come to feeling like I'm doing what I'm really meant to do. I feel that each day my writing only gets better. And I'm just so excited about where I'm at in this process. I'm learning a lot too about moving forward, how I'll do things differently, and you know, how things will probably go a lot quicker because I will know what I'm doing, and I won't be figuring out how to use track changes on Word because I've never used that before. I can say safely that I have kind of got the best little team around me that are helping me out and really pushing me and supporting me, and I feel great about where we're at. As for release days, there was a point, and you can see in the other update video, I was so excited. I was maybe a little too excited because I thought that I was going to have this book edited, cover figured out within, you know, a couple months, and everything was gonna be good to go by the end of the year. But what I'm realizing now is that I want to make sure that I am taking my time, and it's kind of great that I don't have any crazy deadlines that I'm hitting. So as of right now, I do not have a date of when this book will be out. I promise you, the second that I have a solid date, you guys will be the first to know. The second that I have nailed down a cover, you guys will be the first to know, 100%. But as of right now, I don't have a release date, and that's okay. We're still working on it, and I'm working to make sure that this book turns out being the best that it can possibly be, and I know that there is no pressure. There's no time pressure on that. What is time anyway? Time is just a construct, you know? There you have it, guys. That is the full update on my book, All That's Forgotten. I know it doesn't feel like it's been much of an update, but I have made a lot of progress. My editor's made a ton of progress. She's worked so hard on this. My book cover designer, I'm ready to jump back in it with her. So things are finally moving, and I know it feels slow, and I know it's been months since the last update, and we're kind of still in the same place, but things are happening, and I feel good about it. Very exciting announcement. Next week, I am doing a live write-in. I know you're thinking, why are you doing a live write-in? NaNoWriMo's over. I am doing a writing challenge. This is the first ever writing challenge. I came up with this idea a while back, and I thought that it would be like a regular video, and you guys would be able to participate if you chose to. But after talking it over with Kiara, we thought, let's do this live. We miss writing with you guys live on YouTube, so we've created this live writing challenge. It will be about 45 minutes of writing broken up into small segments, and I know you're wondering, what's the challenge in that? The challenge is that we will be giving a very loose prompt at the beginning. You will have 15 minutes or so to get your initial thoughts on the page following the prompt, and then we are going to toss some challenges at you, some twists and turns and plot twists and all of that good stuff, and you're gonna have to incorporate those into your writing. And I think it's gonna be so fun to finally write with you guys again, and these challenges are gonna be such a great way to, number one, get some words on the page, keep your minds fresh, and number two, just have some fun writing again together. That's really what this boils down to. If you would like to turn the writing from these challenges into something more, you of course can. If you would like to scrap it and never look at it again, then that's okay too. But we just wanted to create this as a way that we can all come together and get some fun writing done, and it's just silly and stupid with these twists and turns that we're going to be throwing at you. So if you would like to participate in that, that will be happening on Tuesday, the 22nd of December 2020. So we will obviously post that so you guys can set your alarms and turn on the notifications and everything so you don't miss it. We're probably gonna have like a 5-minute buffer before we get started, but you definitely don't want to miss anything. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait. If you are not already on our Discord server, then you may want to join that, because that is where I initially posted the idea about the writing challenge, and we have a bunch of fun channels, like a book recommendation channel, a writing channel, a critique channel, so if you've written a little snippet that you would like some feedback on, we are there for you, and all of that. We're really trying to build up the Discord, so go ahead and join. Is that everything? I think that's everything. The Discord will be linked below. If you enjoyed this update, then feel free to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not already, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I keep wanting to say that I'm vlogging and posting every day in the month of November. It's like Vlogmas, but for writers, but it's not, it's over. Well, I guess I'll say, if you're not already, then go ahead and subscribe. I have a bunch of fun content coming out, including that live write-in that you're not going to want to miss. So go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post, and I think it actually helps with algorithm stuff, but who's to say? As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Now go write something.